planning upgrades now, should we be commissioning?
And in the same way as any government enforcement action, it'll start with how can we help you? Here are some resources, and then it will escalate to a fine, right?
Okay, and how much is that fine?
Yeah, so that fine is raising to £15,000 per property, and then repeated infractions can be up to 30,000.
Right, okay, so if you're a letting agent and you're managing a property that you think actually, it could even be an EPCC now, but it's probably going to drop down to a D, have the conversation with the landlord, and then if they're not willing to pay the up to 10,000 for the retrofit, they either want to sell, understand they're going to be facing these fines, or they need to be looking at spending that and then applying for an exemption.
Exactly that, right? Okay. And again, the fines are pegged to be higher than the exemption cost and to be higher than the average upgrade cost, right? Mm-hmm. On average, people will spend about £8,000 to comply. Getting an exemption is 10K. The fine is 15 to 30 and escalates with repeated infractions.
Okay. Right, thank you. Now we've had a few questions coming in, so one from Sophie, one from Sarah, saying how will these changes apply to properties in Wales?
Sure, and I will be upfront with you that I am not a Welsh expert, but the EPCs are applying everywhere. So it's going to be exactly the same in Wales as it is in England and Scotland on the EPC methodology itself. The Warm Homes plan also applies to Wales and to Scotland as well as to England. Welsh government has an existing program called Optimised Retrofit ORP. That's getting folded in the next couple of years into the Warm Homes plan. And so there will be grants available for Wales as well as England and Scotland. Scotland has a slightly different methodology, but Wales will see kind of same EPC changes, and we'll see Warm Homes plan funding in a very similar way.
Okay, thank you. I think we might have time for 2-3 more, so I'm going to be picky. So James has submitted quite a good one. So for landlords planning upgrades now, should we be commissioning, I can't remember how you say it, PAS 2035 compliant retrofit assessments already, or are they best to wait until the new EPC methodology is fully launched?
Sure. I think if you're considering making upgrades now, do it now and get a PAS 2035 assessment, whether you do it now or later. Why do I say that? One, it's the only way to guarantee that you cover off ventilation and damp and mold, which are obviously not kind of captured as a matter of course in the EPCs, but for landlords can be a huge potential cost as well. And if you're going to all of the bother of insulating the walls, thinking about solar panels, spending an extra, £500 to make sure that you've got the right ventilation systems. They don't have to be a huge, fancy mechanical ventilation system. You can do trickle vents, easier things, but they just reduce that risk for landlords. And you only get that if you do a PAS 2035 retrofit assessment. So I would always say to do that. If you're doing the works now, get that done now. And you can start with that non-intrusive desktop survey through Domina to give you that kind of first sense check of what am I probably looking at here, what is likely to cost.
And how much do they tend to cost for one of those assessments?
Sure. It's between £300 to £400.
Okay, and can they include the cost of that in the total 10,000 exemption?
Yep. That can be included in the exemption, and if a property ends up being eligible for grant, that cost can be covered off by the grant as well, so you can recoup it.
Okay, brilliant, thank you. Final question. So Elliot has said, could you please clarify when the 10,000 cost cap exemption should be registered? Is it as soon as the spend threshold is reached, or only from the 1st of October 2030?
Oh, I think that detail isn't completely clear from government yet.
Okay.
And so that is due to be released when we get the full detail on a lot of the exemptions. So we've had the first tranche of clarification from government, but there are still some exemption particulars that they need to release, and that'll also include further detail around listing heritage conservation area status too.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you so much. That is all we have time for. So I want to firstly say the biggest thank you to Anna. Really appreciate you sharing your advice and your time this morning. For those of you listening, you can download today's slides and a handout summarising everything that we've covered. Tanya will also pop a link in the chat if she hasn't already, so you can straight away access them. And we'll email you the recording within the next few hours. If you haven't already, please make sure to sign up for our next webinar, which is on the 5th of May. This session is a full hour of live Q&A discussing the renters' rights changes, which go live next Friday. Feels like it's been a long wait, but it's finally happening. Tanya will pop the link in the chat for that as well, in case you want to register. And then just finally, please, before you head off, if you can spare literally 30 seconds, a survey is about to pop up, and I'd really appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a really lovely day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.